What's in your backpack?
ID and everything.
ID?
Yes, and the knife. No bombs, no nothing.
No
It's just
bombs.
my ID card.
ID card?
In my mom's ID card.
Yeah.
There's a knife, some water, some juice.
Okay.
The woman you see here is the one who took the life of Emily Grace Jones, a 7-year-old girl. Eltiona Skana, 30, originally from Albania. She arrived in the UK in 2014 as an illegal immigrant, then claimed asylum with false statements. Skana was later diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, a disease that causes her to frequently hallucinate and be confused about imaginary conspiracies. Emily Grace Jones, a 7-year-old girl, lives with her parents in Bolton, Greater Manchester. Emily is the only child of Mark and Sarah, a family that, although the parents have split up, still works together to take care of her. Emily is remembered by everyone as a cheerful girl. Teachers commented that Emily was bright, creative, often finished her homework faster than her friends, and also had a talent for drawing and writing stories. A peaceful childhood, a bright future, and a seemingly happy Mother's Day, all were taken away in just a few terrifying seconds at Queen's Park. On Sunday, the 22nd of March 2020, coinciding with Mother's Day in the UK, and also the first day the country entered the COVID-19 lockdown, the atmosphere in Queen's Park, Bolton seemed more peaceful than ever. Families went out to breathe some fresh air, children played on the grass, everyone tried to enjoy the last bit of normalcy before the UK closed down due to the pandemic. In that scene, 7-year-old Emily Grace Jones was happily riding a scooter next to her father, Mark. They had arranged to meet Sarah, Emily's mother, who was jogging around the park. It was supposed to be a warm afternoon, full of family love. Her father watched from afar, encouraging her to speed up, while Emily laughed loudly on the cobblestone path, her hair flying in the spring breeze. However, in just a moment, that joy was torn apart. As Emily passed a bench where a strange woman was sitting, the woman suddenly jumped up. It was Eltiona Skana. Without a word of warning, without any sign of forewarning, Skana pulled out a knife and rushed straight at Emily. With just a swing of her arm, the cold blade cut across the girl's neck. It all happened in a few short seconds. At first, Emily's father thought his daughter had tripped, but when he rushed forward, the scene before him horrified him. His daughter was lying on the ground, blood pouring out, breathing raggedly. He hugged Emily, trembling and pleading, "Stay with me, Emily, don't leave me." All around, panic broke out. People walking in the park screamed. Some called 999. Others tried to help cover the wound. A brave man chased Skana, restraining her until the police arrived. But for Emily, all efforts were too late. Emergency services rushed her to Salford Royal Hospital. Doctors fought every second, from CPR to emergency blood transfusion. But at 15:56, they had to declare Emily dead. A Mother's Day that should have been filled with love turned into a bloody memory, leaving a wound that would never heal in the hearts of her parents and the community. Immediately after the attack, Eltiona Skana did not have time to leave the park. A brave man chased and restrained her, then handed her over to the police who were present at the scene. When she was arrested, Skana appeared coldly calm. Initially, she did not cooperate, only saying curtly, "Yes, I stabbed a little girl."
Right, the time now is 14:45. At this moment in time, you're under arrest on suspicion of attempted murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may be defensive. You do not mention something when questioned that you later rely in court, and if you do so, may be given evidence. Okay? Your arrest is necessary to protect vulnerable people and to ensure a prompt and effective investigation to this offence.
Yeah.
Okay? What's your name?
Eltiona Skana. Eltiona Skana.
Okay. Where do you live?
An urgent investigation was launched. Within 24 hours, police had assembled a chilling picture. CCTV and witness testimony showed that Skana had purchased a box cutter just days before the attack. She admitted to doctors that she had bought the knives with the intention of killing someone. This proved that the incident was not a spontaneous act, but was premeditated. During a mental health check, Skana was confirmed to have paranoid schizophrenia. Her medical records showed that she had been treated in a psychiatric hospital several times and was prescribed injectable antipsychotics to control her hallucinations and delusions. However, before the incident, she had stopped treatment without permission, causing her mental state to rapidly decline. Police also discovered that Skana had a troubled past. In 2017, she had attacked an 1-year-old girl for no reason on the street. That same year, a nurse was also assaulted by Skana while on duty. Both incidents showed that she had a tendency to be violent towards strangers, but the health system only detained her for a short time before releasing her back into the community. With the data collected, the picture is clear. Skana was not a normal woman in a temporary crisis. She was an individual with a serious mental illness who repeatedly displayed dangerous behavior, but was not closely monitored. This neglect paved the way for one of the most random and haunting tragedies in modern British criminal history, the death of Emily Jones. The case, which shocked the UK, was quickly brought to trial at Manchester Crown Court in late 2020. The public and media followed it every day, as it was not only the tragic death of a 7-year-old girl, but also a testament to the serious flaws in the psychiatric patient monitoring system. Initially, Eltiona Skana faced charges of murder. However, the defense argued that she suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, which led to uncontrollable behavior. In court, Skana admitted to taking Emily's life, but asserted that she committed the crime in a state of impaired mental health, and therefore could only plead guilty to manslaughter by diminished responsibility. During the trial, the prosecutor presented evidence that Skana had purchased the knife in advance, suggesting an element of preparation. But medical experts invited to the court unanimously confirmed the perpetrator was actually immersed in hallucinations and delusions when committing the crime. Medical evidence, treatment records, and the testimony of the treating doctor forced the court to consider the medical condition rather than purely considering this as an act of intentional murder. On 8 December 2020, the final verdict was given. The judge sentenced Skana to life imprisonment, with a minimum term of 8 years before she could be considered for parole. However, because of her mental condition, she did not serve her sentence in a regular prison, but was transferred to Rampton Secure Hospital, a high-security psychiatric hospital. Here, Skana had to undergo long-term treatment, and only when she was assessed as no longer a danger could she be considered for discharge. The trial ended, leaving Emily's parents with endless pain and shock for the whole community. For many, this sentence could hardly make up for the loss. But within the law, it was a combination of justice and the fact that the perpetrator was a severely mentally ill patient that provided a bitter lesson in community supervision. Emily Jones's death shook the whole of Britain. The public could not accept that a 7-year-old girl, playing in the park with her father, could be murdered so randomly and brutally. This was not a family dispute, nor a personal vendetta, but a senseless, unprovoked act that took the life of an innocent child. Emily's family, in statements to the court and the media, described their lives as completely destroyed. Emily's father, Mark, repeatedly stressed that he would never be able to forgive Skana. For him, a part of his soul died with his daughter on Mother's Day that year. The public reaction was also filled with outrage. People asked, how could a woman with a history of violence, who had attacked children and health workers, be allowed to roam free? Why would the mental health system allow a patient with Skana's dangerous record to leave treatment and live in the community without close supervision? The case of Emily Jones became a painful wake-up call. It exposed the flaws in the way Britain manages high-risk mental health patients. It also raised the ever-present worry: how many other Skanas are still out there, not receiving the proper treatment, and who might one day turn violent? To this day, Emily's memory haunts Bolton and the rest of Britain. From a park where families sought joy, the case transformed Queen's Park into a symbol of the fragility of life and society's enormous responsibility to protect the most vulnerable. A small life has been lost, but its aftermath has forced the entire system to reflect and change. The Emily Jones case has left us with disturbing questions. What can society do to prevent such a senseless tragedy? When a 7-year-old girl can become a victim in a park in broad daylight, it shows how fragile public safety island. Are we being too complacent about the risks posed by people with mental illness who are not adequately treated? And are the legal and health systems really doing enough to protect the most vulnerable? The lesson here is not just the pain of a family who lost a child, but also a warning bell for society as a whole. Any gap in monitoring, treatment, or support for mentally ill patients can become a deadly threat. The public outrage that followed the case also underscored the urgent need for change, for greater oversight, and for greater investment in mental health. Because once a life is lost, it is too late for regrets. If you are watching this video, please take a moment to think about Emily and the thousands of other victims of senseless violence. Please share this story so that more people understand that justice is not just about punishing the guilty, but also about protecting innocent lives from the beginning. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can continue to tell shocking cases, not to spread fear, but to learn lessons together, and so that no child will have to die in vain like Emily.